Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me here today. Very excited to be here at Congreso Futuro. I have a lot of positive things to tell you over the next 15 minutes about the future of technology in the minds. But I feel like it's important to start with a little bit of grounding in the motivation for this and sort of a hard view of our current times. I come to believe that we are in the midst of a crisis, and not just the external crisis that we've inflicted upon the planet, but an internal crisis, a crisis of our minds, what I call a cognition crisis. When it comes to both understanding and enhancing cognition, we're tragically lacking. Our ability to perceive and pay attention, to regulate our emotions, to make high-level decisions, and to feel empathy
and compassion. And we're paying a great price for this. Over 500 million people on this planet are suffering debilitating effects of impaired cognition. And it's getting worse. This crisis is increasing, notably dementia in our seniors, and attention deficits, depression, and suicide in our youth. And this crisis extends beyond the clinical domain and impacts all of us. Our limitations in our sustained attention, high-level decision-making, and empathic concern are plain to see just by reading the daily news. Today, the dominant paradigm is that there is a pill out there to fix and cure our ailing minds. We haven't found it, but we will find it. Now, there's nothing wrong theoretically with the idea of a molecule improving cognition, but this idea has just not served us well, right? For decades, we have been trying to find a molecule to improve our cognition, and they come along with lots of side effects, right? And while we've seen a decrease in suffering and death in things like infectious disease and heart disease, we have seen the reverse trend occur for afflictions of the mind. Attention deficits, anxiety, depression, dementia, all getting worse. We need a new paradigm, and we need a new medicine. I propose to you that one can exist by harnessing a core aspect of human development and growth: experience. For thousands of years, we humans have been creating and ritualizing experiences to enrich our lives, right? So music, art, dance, stories, games, and sports. We've also intentionally designed experiences to support our mental health. So notably, a central tenet of the ancient and widespread practices of meditation is release of suffering from unhealthy states: stress, fear, grief, craving, and clinging. Experience is also a powerful driving force for our brain's plasticity, causing it to change itself at every level: its structure, its chemistry, its physiology, all in response to experiences. Despite this, most people do not think about experience as medicine in the same way we think about pills. And what I want to show you today is how that is now slowly changing through technology. And what an incredible time to live in when it comes to experiential technologies. We're all carrying them on us, we use them all day long, and this landscape is really shifting with the commercial availability now of virtual reality, augmented reality, wearable physiological devices, motion capture, and of course, AI. Now, most of this technology is being applied in the realm of entertainment and communication. But I am telling you that there is untapped potential to use this technology to refine our behavior and really enhance us, as opposed to what technology has often done, which is diminish what makes us human. So how do we accomplish that? I say that this can most effectively be accomplished by delivering experiences with these technologies that are targeted and personalized. And I call this the closed-loop experience. So a closed-loop experience is one in which the environment that you're being exposed to, your experience, is being updated and adapted in real time based upon your own state in the moment. So let me make that a little less abstract. So here you are, here's your brain interacting with a digitally delivered experience. While you're interacting with it, sensors and cameras are collecting data about your state, your stress, your emotions, performance, all being fed into a processor that is using algorithms to adaptively adjust the environment you are exposed to in a personalized way, changing the sensations, the challenges, rewards, and delivering it on a phone or tablet or in a simulation. So it is the mechanics of this interaction that activates brain networks in a selective way, something that we have never accomplished with a molecule before. And it is the adaptive nature of the closed-loop design that puts pressure on those underlying brain networks to optimize its function through plasticity. So how do we think about this in some ways as like the ultimate personal trainer? And I say this is the future of medicine for the mind, ushering in a new era of experiential medicine. My own story with this began 17 years ago at my lab in San Francisco, where I designed a closed-loop experience delivered as a video game. And this was designed to help improve attention in older adults by challenging them to rapidly move their attention with distractions and multiple tasks. Now, why a video game as a closed-loop experience? It doesn't have to be, but fun is a unique type of experience. It leads to deep engagement in the moment and continued revisiting it over time. All things that are necessary if you want to actually change the brain. After years of research, we published the first results of this, showing that older adults improve their ability to play the game, but we also improve their attention and their short-term memory, and even showed that some aspects of their cognition, like multitasking, improved even 6 months and now 6 years later, just through gameplay. And we recorded activity during gameplay to show that it was the networks between the front part of your brain, the prefrontal cortex, and the rest of your brain, this is actually the most evolved part of your brain, which changed to improve performance and lead to these benefits. What we've done after that is spent the last decade working with a company I co-founded called Gazzaley to build a much better version of the game, but still using the same closed-loop design, exactly the same as NeuroRacer, but better levels of art, music, story, usability, all the things that make people enjoy playing a game. And then over 30 clinical trials have been performed showing these benefits in different clinical populations. Children with autism and ADHD, adults with depression, even people with lupus and MS, very varied conditions. There's nothing specific about the game to improving a clinical condition. It really improves attention abilities. And then, in 2020, we were approved as a treatment, a clinical treatment, a Class 2 medical device for children with ADHD, making it the first and still only video game approved by the FDA. We now also have approval for adolescents and adults with ADHD. There are now tens of thousands of prescriptions written in every state in the US prescribing a video game alongside a stimulant as medicine. So thinking about medicine in a new way, this has already begun. This had led to my laboratory to evolve into a research center that we call Neuroscape. We have 11 faculty now. We've really designed a new type of laboratory to advance the mission that I've been describing to you, of to take the cutting-edge advancements in technology and create closed-loop designs to improve cognition, but then do the deep dive research study to understand how it works and if it works and in what populations. I'm just going to give you a quick sampling of the work we've been doing over the last decade. We spent a lot of time moving beyond tablets and laptops and phones into immersive environments. And this is based on the hypothesis that the more real world the interaction, the more you can see and hear it in a natural way and move in it, the bigger their effects will be. And we've started publishing on those outcomes. Now, these are often adopting real-world experiential aspects into our design. So rhythm and music and dance and physical fitness and navigation are all part of these experiences. And we've shown improvements in multiple populations, including children and older adults. We've also taken aspects of ancient experiential medicine, meditation and mindfulness practice, and brought that into the closed-loop design. And we've had great success showing that we can deliver, really classic, traditional, concentrative meditation through this approach to lead to benefits. And we have papers published on children, adolescents with adverse life effects, and including older adults. In older adults, we actually show that not only do we improve their attention with just 6 weeks of gameplay with MetaTrain, our meditation closed-loop game. It improves their attention, but it also includes their responses to stress, and we've actually shown that it lengthens their telomeres. So this is a cellular marker of aging in just 6 weeks, likely due from the stress reduction. So it's still the beginning, it's still early days, but we're seeing this real, what we call transfer of benefits from how you're engaging in these experiences to things that then could benefit you in your everyday life. We're also very interested in passive experiences, not just the very challenging games, even the meditation game is actually quite challenging, but can we deliver experiences for people that may not be able to engage at that level, notably focusing on music and nature experiences, right? So there's a whole literature showing that the benefits of being in nature. I love being in nature. I'm sure many of you do many of you living here. But not everyone has access to nature for many reasons. So can we use digital technologies to deliver immersive nature experiences and see some of the benefits that have been noted on stress and mood and attention and sleep? And so we created a sensory immersion laboratory that you see over here on the slide, where you see, hear, smell, and feel nature environments. And then we could record your responses and the benefits of those. We don't just develop interventions, as I've been describing, we also do a lot of work on diagnostics. Because if we're going to change the brain in a meaningful way, it's important to understand what is happening in the brain and the body. This is one of our technologies. It's called the glass brain. You're actually looking at my brain. This is my glass brain. It is a combination of both MRI, so the structure, the outside cortical structure of my brain in purple, these golden fibers are the connections between different brain areas, and the lights and the sparkles our EEG activity, looking at how different functional activity is being represented in real time, using multiple levels of processing to show that and how it's communicating between brain areas. Right now, this is still the early days of this technology. It's largely a beautiful view of the brain, but we are now trying to grab and take this data and use it in an actionable way to drive our closed-loop experiences. Okay, I'm going to conclude now with sort of another leap into the future. If that seemed futuristic, that is really just the beginning of where we're going. I want to give you a little taste of what the next level of closed-loop experiences will look like over the coming decade. And we've already started this approach. So step one is what we call multimodal biosensing. Instead of just right now how our games work, even Achilles game, which is our ADHD treatment, is the metrics that are driving the closed loop challenge are just your performance, how fast you are, your accuracy, how the accelerometer is changing. We believe, and we're starting to document this and study this, if we collect comprehensive data from throughout your brain and body, not just your brain, but your facial expressions, your heart rate, your respiratory rate, and give a much, much deeper view of your state in the moment. Now, we can't read your thoughts, know exactly what you're thinking, but we are showing that we can look at your level of arousal, your attention, and your mood, and really understand them in real time. So this is owing to advances in signal processing, machine learning, biosensor technology, and neuroscience. So only recently is this available. Our multimodal biosensing system has 170 electrodes. We think it is the most biometric recordings ever done on a human in real time. And we're gathering this data. And the goal, and where this is going to be a process, is to then use this data to not just deliver an experience on a tablet, but to deliver a multisensory immersive experience, which would then feed back and drive the multimodal biosensing. And as you might imagine, this is going to really only be accomplished through advances in AI. The first side is what we call interpretive AI. Most people in the field will call that machine learning, right? It's been around for a while. It's not as fancy and as new as generative AI, but it's very important that we understand the metrics of that are involved in your state and your attention and your arousal and your mood so that we can push and pull on those levers in a very targeted way. And then the potential for generative AI to be used to create these experiences. So not just a text prompt giving you a text answer, even a picture, but a physiological prompt, maybe telling the system something about you that you don't even know, and then feeding back an environment that's challenging and rewarding you in just the right way to lead to these changes in your brain and your behavior. So to put all this together, this is what I believe will be the future of medicine for the mind. We will have multimodal biosensing integrated with video game mechanics and dynamic play, with art, music, and story, and sensory immersive technologies. This is the direction that we are heading in. Now, there's nothing, as I said, inherently wrong about the molecular medicine idea. The problem is that we just created a silo around it, and it's not a magic bullet, and we know that now after 70 years of trying to create these solutions. But how about if you coupled a molecule with a closed-loop experience and bring molecular medicine and experiential medicine together. This has hardly ever really been done, but we believe that this is part of it, part of the future, and allowing us to lower the doses on the treatments so that they're just an activator, but not trying to get the entire effect like Aricept for Alzheimer's disease or Adderall for children with ADHD, just an activator, and then combined with the selectivity that you can only achieve by the experience itself. We've started some work on this using a unique type of molecule that people refer to as psychedelics. You may be aware that there's a reemergence of psychedelics being studied as medical interventions in multiple countries, notably in the US and the UK. And this is showing benefits in people largely with PTSD, depression, and addiction right now. But what I'm most interested in is how we can use, again, lower doses, combine them with the experiences, because right now they're largely unguided. There are facilitators that attempt to guide them, but they don't really necessarily know, maybe some of the most advanced that have been doing it for 40 years, what's going on with the individual. But if we can understand in real time, even if a person was not able to tell you what they are feeling, their mood, the level of arousal, whether the stress was positive or negative, and then use that data to guide an experience, we can have a targeted and personalized psychedelic treatment that we think will have great and safer impact on people being treated for clinical conditions. So this is my message to you. I do think that this will extend beyond the clinical domain. As I said, I think all of us can use a little boost in our cognition, but that is what hopefully we'll see in the future. I thank you for your attention today. So thank you very much.